What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Thursday, April 8th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in the comments section who are your favorite and least favorite of my contenders for today's slate. We're rounding out the bottom of my top 10 with OG Anunoby, Luka Doncic, DeAndre Bembry, Alex Pogoshevsky, and PASCAL SIAKAM. They are on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites, my top 5 plays for today? It is time to find out. All right, first up at number 5, we're going to point guard, shooting guard eligible Donovan Mitchell. He's 8,600, projected for 46. The goal is 52, and he is in the optimal lineup 24% of the time. Now, we're not expecting to have Mike Conley on the back-to-back, doesn't normally play them, which means a big bump in, well, slight bump in usage, huge bump in assist rate for Donovan Mitchell. I've got him at 1.35 DK points per minute, 34 minutes, 33% usage, 27 real points, 7 assists, 4 boards. Slight pace down spot against Portland, but you're not really worried about it. Not a good defense, all things considered. Don't know the status on Nurkic right now, so it's either Cantor or someone significantly worse at center. This is going to be a really nice spot for Mitchell. It's a really nice spot for the Jazz in general. Everybody just gets an incremental bump. They just look a little bit more playable than they normally do. But Mitchell at 8,600, I'm not worried about that price at all. A 1.35 fantasy point per minute rate? Sign me up for that. Next up at number 4, we're getting one of my favorite things, shooting guard, small forward eligible Josh Jackson. He's 4,700. I've got him projected for 29. The goal is 38. He's in the optimal lineup 25% of the time. I gave him 28 minutes. We're not going to have Jeremy Grant today, and this team's rotation has been really scary. But for 4,700, to get a guy in the guard and forward spot, I'll take my chances. 1.04 fantasy points per minute, so nothing crazy. 27% usage, 17 points, 4.5 boards, 2 assists, 2 stocks. Pace neutral spot against Sacramento, but they're the worst defense in basketball, so that should be a pretty beneficial matchup for Josh Jackson. You can use him at shooting guard, small forward, guard forward utility. This guy is the ultimate Swiss Army knife for today's slate, and he could actually break the slate if they run him out for like Jeremy Grant type minutes. I don't think that they do that, and that's why I gave him 28, but there is nothing stopping him from playing 4 legitimate rotations and playing 32 minutes. That is on the table. This Pistons team is really, really bad, and they don't have a ton of guys that can actually create offense. I don't know what they're going to do, but at 28 minutes, Josh Jackson is good enough to be the 4th best play on the slate, and that's good enough for me. Next up at number 3, we're going to point guard, shooting guard eligible JRUE Holiday. He is 8,100, projected for 44. The goal is 50, and he is in the optimal lineup 27% of the time. Bucks are going to be without Giannis Antetokounmpo for the 3rd straight game, which means that all of these guys are getting big-time rate bumps, including JRUE Holiday, who sees massive rate increases. 35 minutes, 1.27 fantasy points per minute. We're talking 27% usage. That's a big bump. 22.5 real points, 7.5 assists because he takes a huge assist rate bump, 4.6 boards. You get north of 2 stocks. Now, it is a pace down spot against Dallas, but that is not slowing me down at all. The increase in roll is going to well outpace the slightly lower pace against the Mavericks. You're locking and loading JRUE Holiday. Everybody in the industry is going to be doing this, and they should. Fantastic cash game option. But he's not the only buck. Boy, do I love this one. Shooting guard, small forward eligible Khris Middleton, my boy, coming in number 2, 7,800, projected for 44. The goal is 49. He is in the optimal lineup 28% of the time. For everybody that's curious, yes, you can play JRUE Holiday and Khris Middleton together. A lot of people are going to be doing that, and they should. 36 minutes, 1.22 fantasy points per minute. Almost couldn't do math there. That would have been tough. 30% usage. Look, Khris Middleton's a 50, 40, 90 guy with Giannis off the floor. They are plus a bunch when Giannis is off the floor. Khris Middleton is really, really good. People miss it because Giannis Antetokounmpo is the 2-time reigning MVP. But when Giannis isn't there, Khris Middleton carries the heat pretty well. 25.5 points, 6 rebounds, 5.5 assists. Same pace down spot as JRUE Holiday, but it doesn't really matter. Both of these guys take over everything. They handle all of it. Major usage bumps, major assist bumps. Khris Middleton and JRUE Holiday are going to basically dominate the ball for the Bucks today with Giannis out. And in those situations, especially being able to get Middleton at shooting guard, small forward, guard forward, and utility, God, it's a dream scenario for me. I can't wait to play a ton of Khris Middleton today. I don't even care what he does. I will be happy rostering my boy. Now, before we get to that number one contender, one last reminder to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and then hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Then, follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to my sim results as we get closer to lock. I won't be on live before lock, so that's the only way that you can get my thoughts. Finally, hop into the comment section. I want to know your favorite contender, your least favorite contender, and if you've got a contender that I don't have, let me know who that is. And finally, the number one contender is point guard eligible Malachi Flynn. He is 4,700 still just on DraftKings. 28 fantasy point projection. The goal's 38. Optimal lineup 30% of the time. Malachi Flynn is playing monstrous minutes with no Kyle Lowry and no Fred VanVleet. I've got him in for 32 minutes, 0.88 fantasy points per minute. Now, it's not a usage thing. It's projected for 11.5 points, 5.5 assists, almost 4 boards, 2 stocks in just 32 minutes for Malachi Flynn. That I really like. Pace neutral spot against the Chicago Bulls, but that Bulls defense, not very good. Not going to get slowed down all that much by Kobe White or Zach LaVine, that's for sure. And meeting Nikola Vucevic at the rim, not that big of a problem. So I expected Malachi Flynn's price to go up a little bit higher, but for right now, he looks like a really nice value play. And there's not really much that'll change that would remove Malachi Flynn from being an excellent play. So I expect him to be in this top 5 for the entire day. That's where we stand right now with Malachi Flynn as the number one contender on DraftKings today. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Thursday, April 8th. Contenders videos are in the books. Find the FanDuel version somewhere around here. Process show already finished. Go back and watch that. Strategy show with Adam Kaufman today. No Laffy, but he'll be back tomorrow. Strategy show with Adam Kaufman at 10 a.m. Come check that out. And then that's it for me. I'll do office hours at 1 p.m. in our premium Slack chat, but you're not getting me on live before lock. I'm going to be watching the Masters with my feet up, making some NBA lineups. It's going to be fantastic. Good luck tonight, everybody. We'll be back again tomorrow to close out the work week with another edition of the Contenders.